Man, oh man, just look at this old mower with the big bicycle wheels from days gone by. This thing has been neglected for a long time. It's got the pull cord, which is broken. Either the spring is broken or, it's just loose. It could, sometimes you can just have rust and stuff up in that, around that spring that'll keep it from retracting, but it's useless as it is. And if you guys follow me, you know I'm going to try and save this mower. It's so old that this wheel, this bicycle wheel, ball bearing wheel, has got the dry rot. I think one of the front wheels is the same way, see that? And looks like at some point it was either sold by or rented from A to Z Rental Incorporated, and they didn't even bother to put the area code on there, which means it's pretty old. I can't see the code up under this vanity cover to tell you exactly how old it is. Maybe it'll say here. It's from Southland Mower Company, made in Selma, Alabama. And the code is 98, so, oh, I'm sorry, is that 88? Let's see. No, it's 98, so this mower was made in 1998. And if I understand these codes correctly, it was made on January 7th, 1998. But I'll check what's actually on the Briggs & Stratton rewinder metal cover, and that'll tell the tale as well, because the engine may have been made on a different date than the deck. And let's see if this thing, it does compress, but it doesn't leave too much pink on the fingers. That's one of my tests to see if I should replace it. I may not have to, believe it or not. I can see part of the governor spring sticking up, so somebody's jimmied that around, messed it up. This is bent up, so that'll have to come down if I want it to at least look correct. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything to be that way, but I like to get them so that they look like they did when they were made. Yeah, somebody's bent that up pretty good. You can see that angle. So I'll probably replace these wheels. I don't think I can repair them. This wheel may be okay. But, I mean, you can see the dry rot here. And believe it or not, I think I have some of these in storage that may fit this mower. I really love these old bicycle wheel mowers. They're just awesome. So I'm gonna try to save this thing. Let's look under the discharge chute, see if there's any creepy crawlies under there. Nope. So that's good. I may lift that a little bit so that it's not throwing the grass down so much, but maybe out a little bit more. Let's take a look underneath and see what's under here. It's got a blade. The blade's badly bent, so they probably hit something with it, which may mean that I've got a sheared flywheel key. So let's go to work on this funky old mower. Oh, there's red paint on the inside. I don't know if they painted that afterwards or maybe it just faded. So let me put this in this camera in the holster. And the first thing we're going to do is figure out if I can repair that rewinder or if I'm just going to have to replace it. So let's let's get started on this old gal here and see if we can rescue her. There's a long 1/4-inch screw here and one here that'll have to come out. Hopefully they're not so badly rusted that they don't come out. So let me get a 1/4-inch socket and see if I can get them out. Okay, that one's coming out. May come off now. All right, I'm looking for wasp nests and black widows and things that go bump in the night. They could hurt a little old lawnmower mechanic, but I don't see anything under there. So let's set this aside for now. And let's see if we can get it off. There's 2 1/4-inch screws that hold this dipstick to the side that'll have to come out in order for me to get to. Let me get a little shorter 1/4-inch. That one's a little bit too long. This one should do it. So this has there's one. In there because I've got it torqued all the way over. All right, now there's that. Set this in my magnetic dish, and let's see, is this thing? It's probably rusty, so I can't really test the kill switch yet. I'll have to take that apart. So now I'm going to get my 3/8 socket to remove 1, 2, and then the third one over there to get this rewinder off. There's 1 out. And 2 out. And let me go around the other side for this other one. Okay, and since I've, well, I think I just threw the screw over there. I thought it was going to fall down, but it went that way. Since I took these 2 1/4 inches out, now this whole piece will come out without pulling the dipstick out, which I don't want that to happen yet. So I'm going to look under here real carefully and see. I don't see any mouse nests. It looks like there have been some kind of critter living there. I don't see any deadly spiders or dangerous spiders. Maybe one in there, but for now that's okay. Let me get a flashlight and see what kind of weird thing that is in there. Yeah, it's a bunch of bug parts and debris, and I'll pull that out. There's some, I don't know what that is, sticking up. What is that? I don't know. This is a pulse jet, and believe it or not, that works the way it's supposed to. How about that? I'm optimistic about that. I am going to go ahead and take this off in order to check the flywheel key, because that blade is damaged so bad because somebody's hit something with it. But I'm focusing on this rewinder, so we're going to get it out of here and see why retracting. All right, does it pull it all? Yes, it does. It's got some spring tension. It may be that it works like it's supposed to. I may just restring this on here because I think that the cord is going to be long enough. So let's do that and see if somebody tried to put this on there. But what will probably happen is when I put a lot of tension on it, the spring will then unwind because it's damaged, but we'll see. So I've got the cord pulled out, and what you need now is some vice grips. Like these sharp pointed ones here. I've got a little rubber tip on here for pinching the fuel lines, but I think it may work for this case too. So I'm going to put this on here and keep the wheel from spinning around. I've got to loosen it a little bit before I can cinch the vice grip down. I think I'm almost there. There we go. And see now, I've got the cord pulled all the way out, and it's being held by this vice grip, which I just put through the side, and it's up against that post there. Can you see that? Yeah, that little post. That keeps it from rewinding or unwinding. So now I need some needle nose pliers and grab the end of this cord and pull it out. If I can get, there's not much to grab there. There we go. Okay, now to pull this out, I've got to pull it out of the rewinder, so I've got to cut the knot that's there. So I get me a real good pair of pliers with a sharp edge on it, like these, and I just cut that. I'm not going to bother to try and undo the knot. I'll just make a new one on there. And while I'm thinking about it, I'll go ahead and seal this with a flame. In case there's gas in that tank, I'll move it away from that and do it right here. And this is going to keep, that's going to keep this line, this nylon line, from fraying. All right, so now I can pull that out. So I got the cord out, and I'm going to wind it up and set it aside. And I'm going to test this spring to see if it's going to hold the cord or not, or the spring is going to give way under tension. That's often what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and release this spring. There's not much on it. That's why I wouldn't retract in the first place. There's a lot of cobwebs and stuff, so I'm going to take this opportunity to clean that out. So when you come back, we will resume this, but I'm just going to keep doing the housekeeping there until you return.